You are now listening to the Cross-Platform Chat podcast.
Hello and welcome. This is episode 6 of Cross-Platform Chat, a podcast about video games and nerdy things. My name is Matt, joined by one of my best gaming buddies on the microphone. Cross-Platform Chat is a conversation among friends, and we bring our distinct perspectives on games, but we are cross-platform and backwards compatible. So our door is always open to gamers of all flavors, and we welcome you to the house of Cross-Plat Chat. So pull up a chair, stay a while, why don't you? Hang out with the cool kids. Let's chop this thing up. So right about now, let me welcome my partner in crime, my bro ham sandwich, Devon, otherwise known as Sonic Boom in the room.
Lotar Ogar.
God, greetings. Sonic
Hi.
Boom,
What's going on?
hi, love you, love your body. I miss the old days when you said apple pie astrology or whatever.
That was 1 week,
I
and
know.
we've called back to it more weeks than we actually said it.
I know. Every week that goes by when you don't say it, we stray further from the light and just embrace
Yeah.
your inner voice, Sonic Boom. It beckons us. We need to have that back on the show. Let's take this opportunity also. So, cross-platform chat is usually a trio, but unfortunately our broham Greg, Human Platinum, out again this week, feeling under the weather. Please dress up, Greg. Please rest up.
Yeah.
Get well for next
He's
gen
just-
because it's almost here. So
I think he's just storing up his energy for next week
dude,
because
he's
it's
building
new
it up. I
console
agree.
Eve,
Oh
and
my
he's just
God,
like,
dude.
nah, I don't need to be there. I'm gonna
No,
take
Yeah.
some rest.
he's
Get it.
charging up the batteries so that he
Yeah.
can just get crunk on that next gen. I am getting old.
Yeah.
My
But
God.
my self-imposed sabbatical from current gen has kind of led me astray to things like playing games with my kid or
Yeah.
playing World of Warcraft heavily, getting ready for the new expansion. So, I'm still very excited for new tech, and it's just a great time of the year.
Totally
to,
agree.
So, especially because
Totally
we're gonna have oh my god, the amount of games that are coming out is just
Oh, it's going to be an overwhelming wave to add to my backlog, which is
Yeah.
already just
I want more games delayed. It's a
Shame.
blessing,
Wow.
really.
Dude, I totally agree.
You know?
When I heard Cyberpunk, I was like, thank God. Thank
Yeah.
God it's delayed.
Yeah, that's
Thank
one that.
God it's delayed. But
So.
let's give a quick roadmap for the podcast. And I say this every week, but I'm going to try and get to our conversation topics and actually be honest, because I feel like every week when I say the conversation topic, we either don't even touch on it or just don't talk about it at all. So news this week is pretty light. Some news coming out. Seemingly the embargo is lifted on Xbox Series X and S. So there's console reviews that are starting to pop up all over them internets. A news story about PS5 launch day availability. Also, an interesting story about the PlayStation 5 expandable SSD, which we will get into. Otherwise, conversation topic of the week. It's really all about next generation, and I'm going to pull out the next generation crystal ball. I want to talk about predictions, Sonic Boom. Predictions for next generation. How do we see this generation taking shape? What are the tentpole moments, signature moments, contributions, really anything that will make this generation special? Special. So, Sonic Boom.
Yes. Hi. Hello.
Yeah, hi. What's up? Tell me what you've been playing this week. I guess you already kind of
spoilers.
Yeah.
Really not much. Between fighting, internet not happening 2.0, I fell back into WoW pretty hard, and got some more Halloween wins in Warzone. So Halloween. Their little Halloween event in Verdansk.
Oh yeah. What was that word again?
Verdansk.
Verdonks, that's right.
Verdansk.
How was your Halloween last week, by the way? Did you guys have a good family time?
Yeah, one night we did family stuff, and another night we went over to some friends and real low key.
Pumpkins. You smashed
Yeah.
pumpkins, be honest.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Yeah. So not a very eventful week for video games for me, which is fine. I'm kind of trying to rest and relax and just get ready to be excited again. And
Damn
so
right. This is just the calm before the storm. So
it really is. It's like, because I took
missed you.
time off next week, so I have 3 days off starting Wednesday.
Oh, that's so baller, dude.
So
I have next Friday off, and I'm already just counting it down like a fiend. God, I can't wait.
but then the missus is like, "You're taking too much time off. We got to rein that in." I'm like, "It's 3 days." Like, it's like that.
And I not have 3 days.
Yeah, I know. It's like I told you this months in advance. I was
Right?
doing this, but it's
Not
like,
exactly a surprise.
did you watch Bill Burr at all?
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
on well, yeah, obviously. He was great in Mandalorian, but he was on Conan one time and he was just going off on women. Don't want to be sexist, but it was a good skit, and it just reminded me of like, you just don't want me to have fun, do you? Like, you saw I was having fun,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, I gotta put the kibosh on that.
He
So we got,
definitely
like,
speaks to the woes of the married man. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we don't want to offend people. We don't have that clout. So,
But we will suffice it to say we'll both have some time off next week. We're looking forward to it, and damn it, please just let us have a few days. That's all we ask.
Just pretend I don't exist.
Okay, so you're not playing a lot right now.
No.
It's
What
called
about you?
The Storm. Me, I picked up, I'm kind of in the same boat. I picked up Ghost of Tsushima for like 5 minutes just when I got my new TV set up. I just wanted to
God, how
see
good
it
was
for
it?
like 2 seconds. It's enormous, Sonic Boom. Here's the thing with me. I sit way too close to my television. There's like people who sit close, and then there's people who like sit way too close. I'm literally like 4 feet from my television.
You were pretty close in your old apartment.
Dude,
I remember that.
I love it. I want to have to like turn my entire head to see one side
That's
to the
not
other.
good. It's not good for your eyes.
What? Bring it on. I don't care. My eyes can pop out of my damn head for all I care.
Did your brother help you put that TV together?
Yeah, he sure did. He had to,
And then,
because the thing is like, it's like holding a freaking bed mattress. It's
Yeah.
huge. And it's
Well, when you got
really
those tiny
thin.
hands, so I just wondered if you had to like get the neighbor to help you too. And
Stop it right there. I know what you're doing.
just saying.
I have a massive television, if you know what I mean. It's massive, 65 inches around. But yeah, he helped me set up the LG. Yeah.
It's like an oil
That's a
drum.
dual entente, yeah.
I don't
But
get
yeah, it was like really, really stressful because you have an LG C9? What do you have?
Yeah. It's ridiculously thin.
It freaks me the hell out.
It's
I'm
thinner than your phone, the screen.
I hate it. I hate it
Oh, yeah.
because every time I'm moving it, I'm like, I feel like I'm about to fold a piece of paper. Screw this thing.
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to lift it myself after putting it face down on a couch. And then it started to like wobble and bend. It's like, I might crack this thing in half like an idiot. And I just bought it.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I was freaking out. I was in a bad mood. I was like, dear God, just get me through this. Dear God, if you're there listening. So I played Ghost of Tsushima for like 5 minutes just to see how it looks, and it looks amazing, incredible. The damn TV is way too big, and I'm sitting way too close, just like I like it. So I can't wait to hook up my PS5. What about nerdy pickups? Because I've got a special one for you.
Nerdy pickup? No, I don't even start cataloging. I'm sure I bought an amiibo or something. I bought a new controller for my Switch. Oh yeah. Well, what did I get last? Like Bulbasaur or something. I don't know. It was like on sale. Anyway, I got a Link corded Switch controller for the Switch.
Oh, dope. That's cool.
Because I was trying to play New Super Mario U, Brothers, Luigi U. All-Star, what is it? On with the little Wii-Con turned sideways and my big mammoth just paddles of hands. Like it was, it was. Man, you think that PS4 controller is bad? That thing is holy. So I bought a new controller. And it's got Link on it.
Controller is amazing.
Yeah.
Stop with yourself. Did you go rage mode in that game this week and break something? Because didn't you say that game was just infuriating?
Oh yeah, no, I want to pump my baby.
Please don't do that, Sonic.
No,
we don't recommend it. Don't pump babies.
Don't pump babies.
Just take some deep breaths. Well, that's cool. Speaking of controllers, Sonic Boom, I got my DualSense. It was shipped to me this week. These are my
Yeah.
first thoughts. These are my first thoughts. One, I'm way more excited than I thought I was. I heard the doorbell ring, and I like jumped out of my seat because I knew exactly what it was, and I was like giddy. I was like a giddy child all the way up the stairs. Um, Tore into that box. Form factor reminds me a lot of the Xbox controller, which I think is a good thing for most
Hmm.
people. I think the Xbox controller is stellar. It's a great design, so I'm totally fine with that. I do have enormous hands, and they're powerful hands, so I need a nice, big, powerful controller.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
If it's heavier than DualShock 4, it feels more premium, and I know that's a broken record because I think a lot
Do
of
you think
people
it's because
say
of
that.
the? Does it have a bigger battery in it?
It does have a bigger battery. I
Oh, there
am
you go.
interested to see if that actually means more game time because of the haptics and the technology in the controller. I think it's going to take more power to run it probably. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
that.
it's essentially another motor at least on each trigger.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's more in it. So and you can tell when you pick it up.
good.
I went digging through my closet because I was like, I know that I have an Xbox One controller somewhere, and I found one. So I was really able to see not only comparing it to the DualShock 4, but to an Xbox One controller. It's definitely heavier than DualShock 4. The sticks are firm, nice and firm. They're more firm than the DualShock 4. I've the sticks on the Xbox One controller seem not as firm. Um, I don't know if that's kind of like stick firmness. Some I
What was that? Was there an S in the beginning of
yeah,
that word you just said?
sticks. Yeah, I
Stick.
like my sticks nice and firm. I like
STICK.
my sticks firm, and I don't know. It's just kind of a personal preference thing. Pepsi, Coke, whatever.
Yeah.
Triggers feel more substantial than the DualShock 4. Like they're not brittle. Um, you can tell that there's some resistance in there. I'm so interested to play it and see how those babies work. I was talking to Greg. And he was saying that he felt like the D-pad was mushy, and I've actually heard that from several people. I didn't notice it at first, but certainly when you compare it to the Xbox One controller, because the Xbox One has like really clicky D-pad, which I like that too. I'm totally fine with that. But
Is
the
yours an older gen Xbox
my
controller?
Xbox
Because
One,
what is with the
um,
D-pad? I feel like the D-pad, they just after how many years of gaming, we still cannot get that thing figured out.
I don't understand it. I really don't. Personally, I don't touch the D-pad a ton. It's usually like menu navigation, but I know what you mean. And like the D-pad, for example, on like the Pro controller for the Switch, I think is really good.
Yeah.
But even that one, I don't. It's not like my primary. I don't know. It's not my primary movement, you
No,
know.
and it's
But
I can't remember the last time it was a primary thing
yeah,
for me
yeah.
either, but
But still, and it's 2020 for God's sake.
yeah,
The
figure it
D-pad
out.
was
Come
the
on.
D-pad was
You put a man
invented
on the
in.
moon like 50 years ago. Figure that out.
Yeah, I agree. But the D-pad and the like symbol face buttons feel a lot like a DualShock 4 to me. But otherwise, it's heavier, feels good. The form factor has changed. It's more like an Xbox in that regard. And it's the first thing I'm gonna play on my PS5 is Astro, just because I want to feel that thing. I want to see what that thing can do. I'm really
You're gonna
excited
blow your
about it.
controller?
That's right. I am gonna blow my controller.
Nice.
My controller that has firm sticks, and
Firm
and I
blowing
firm
on that
blowing
stick.
confirmed. I can't wait. So that's my nerdy pickups. Let's see. Anything else? Amazon, just in terms of nerdy pickups, like Amazon is starting to date things that they're shipping PS5 related. Probably the same for Xbox Series is. But I think I have another peripheral on its way
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I
But
was literally checking that stuff as you signed in, and I don't have a single thing that says, "Oh yeah, it's coming." Everything's still in like pre-order status, so I'm kind of
yeah,
sad
that sucks. I'm sorry.
because rumors, speculations. There's people out there that have already gotten their Xboxes. Like some guy in Canada is like, "I just got my Xbox. This is cool."
Oh yeah, I did start to hear that. Dude, that would be so sweet. Oh, that would be so cool. I both my two of my PS5s have given me estimation dates.
Two of your pyramid.
No, actually three in the pyramid. One from Sony and two from Amazon. I haven't heard anything from GameStop. I'm sure they're gonna I'm sure the bottom's gonna fall out on that bucket, but oh well. Whoever gets here first wins. And everyone else can screw themselves. Alright, Sonic Boom. I would like to start the weekly news, but I can't do
Yes.
that. I
No.
can't do that until we
You
do
got something else to do.
bombs.
Flutter
We got
bombs.
flutter bombs, baby.
Flutter bombs.
And just for all of our new listeners, we have tens of thousands of listeners worldwide. But for new listeners, if you're out there, flutter bombs, it's just a segment of random topics of conversation segment. Usually it's just, the musings of an old man. I am that old man, so I apologize for that. But if
We're
you
the
want a
same
show,
age.
yeah, we're old, man. We're old. We're aging. Maybe we're not old, but
No, we're plenty old.
oh yeah, we're elderly.
Yeah.
Anyway, sit through Flutter Bombs. It's just house rules. And of course, Flutter Bombs is named after a beautiful game. And I think it's on Game Pass, right?
No. It was on
It's not on Game.
No.
Oh, that's a travesty.
It should be. It should be picked up. They need to get that studio, but no. Sadly not yet.
Anyway, Flutter Bombs is a game about butterflies seeking world domination through laser combat, or whatever
Well,
Greg
duh.
was saying.
The usual.
Yeah, the usual. It's also Greg's Game of the Year for 2020. We respect that. Okay, Flutter Bombs topic. I'm gonna try and make this quick. I say that every week. It never happens. So just stick with me on this one. Okay,
All right.
Smells, aromas. That is.
Mhm.
I think Sonic Boom. I'm like 90% human, but like 10% bloodhound.
Yeah.
I can smell I can smell a cupcake from like 3 football fields deep.
That just means you're a fat kid.
I mean, ex-fat kid. I also have some like goddamn fox ears, but that's neither here nor there. They say that smells trigger memory like stronger than any other. Vividly, and you know it when you smell it.
Yeah.
So in that spirit, I would like this court to consider the fact that the original Xbox was the smelliest launch hardware of all time, in a good way. It smelled like the future to me. I was just thinking about this week because it's like the most vivid memory probably that I have about a launch day console because of that smell. I smelled that thing right when I opened it up. I was like, this thing is just wafting into my soul right now.
New console smell is it's
there's
the
nothing
kisses
like
of angels.
it is the kisses of angels, and we all know it when we smell it because you open up a new console and you're like, where does my nose go on this thing? Because I'm gonna just jam my nose up the ass of whatever this thing is, and I'm gonna just breathe in that memory. And
anyone that's ever bought a brand new Nintendo 64 can vividly recall that smell as I'm telling you right now. You're smelling it, and it's just the styrofoam. It's that plastic bag. That's that new plastic. Oh,
I get in there. I get in there.
I thought we weren't going to make an MSAR
ASMR.
Yeah, I thought we weren't doing that show. Wait, that sounds.
Oops. That sounds. Well, we can like do a revolution in ASMR where we also do smell. We'll figure it out. But anyway, launch. So smells hardware. It smells, baby. And
smells are number one. Next to very close second is peeling the plastic off.
Oh yeah, because the original Xbox, it had that like sheet of plastic over the top of the console. Do you remember that? It was. It was like a fruit roll up.
Well, it had that like piano finish, so it's like this thing's just gonna collect scratches and fingerprints. So gotta protect it somehow.
OG Xbox, man. I haven't played that thing in forever, but yeah, whenever I want to like.
Oh, I'm thinking of the one. Never mind.
Memory. No, I'm talking about OG.
Yeah, the OG was a matte. That was a matte finish.
And I got that thing a week early. And it was like that was like before people knew what Halo was gonna be.
Did you get it from the GFL?
I did.
Ooh.
I absolutely did.
That's a whole other topic.
That is a whole other topic, and I don't want to go to jail right now. But
wait, why would you go to jail?
I got the console early. I broke Street Date.
You didn't break it. They broke it.
That's true, but yes, those were in the days. Those were like the Wild West days. Street Dates.
Those were.
Anything. But
now, if you're a little guy that only sold a handful of units, but
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I want to conjure my memories, I just smell an Xbox One controller, an OG Xbox controller, and I remember Halo. So that's my flutter bomb.
It's like putting on a fresh pair of socks. Straight out of the package. Do yourself a favor. Go smell a console.
Right now.
Right now.
So let's smell some newsy news, shall we?
Dope.
All right. Newsy news is kind of light this week, so let's get it going. Marking an apparent embargo lift just today, November 5th, Xbox hardware reviews from major outlets seem to have surfaced all over the internet with unilateral praise for an array of features, including backwards compatibility, quick resume, and amazing load speeds provided by the SSD are among the many impressions. I just kind of pulled some some sort of quotes from Digital Foundry and IGN. I don't know if I have to go through all these. They had generally great things to say about the console itself. Digital Foundry said, "Ultimately, I believe that in Series X, Microsoft has indeed delivered an excellent next-generation system, but one that likely won't show its many strengths at launch. Part of that is down to its lack of first-party titles that really put the new technology through its paces, and another part is very much down to Microsoft's vision of a more gradual evolution of gaming as opposed to a generational revolutionary shift." He goes on, but I think this has kind of been the message that I've been
Yeah, they're
getting.
really not saying too much more than it's already been said. Like amazing hardware, great hardware, a huge jump in technology shift. It's like a PC in a box. Things that have been talked about the last several weeks with all the
Mhm.
AMD, uh, you know, stuff with there. But yeah, I didn't get to read a lot of them, but pretty much everyone had the same sentiment of great piece of hardware. Let's see some games.
Yeah, and
So
again, like you kind of said, like I think it's props to Microsoft for distributing their consoles so I don't know, so early and
yeah,
so transparently. Like there's not really, to me, there were not any like big, I don't know, discoveries that they hadn't already either hinted at or already kind of said straight up.
yeah,
So
which is weird that the layers of embargo have just been so kind of odd because there's so much that's already out there and so much
yeah,
already
yeah,
discussed that and each influencer and outlet had a different almost seemed like they had a different embargo because I heard people talking about this, that, and the other, and then I listened to a different podcast and like I can't talk about that yet. It's like,
yeah, right, yeah.
huh.
It's kind of
But
weird. It seems to me like the embargo, at least at the very least, was not as strict with the Xbox. I have no evidence to support that. I just feel like I've heard a lot
you
about
know,
the Xbox even before today. So, and that's to their credit, to Microsoft's credit, and
yeah,
I think
the
they were confident about it.
yeah,
So,
the message and marketing has been hands down a complete 180 from even like a year ago.
yeah,
Like they were dropping the ball last year, with any I can't think of anything on the top of my head, but it's just like they were making mistakes. It's like, didn't you like learn from last time?
yeah,
Just
right, right.
they were just constantly kicking their own butts. And this year it seems like they got their ducks in a row. So
Yeah,
good on them.
well, I definitely. I mean, it continues just the trajectory since Phil took over. I think this is the best place Xbox has
Mm,
been,
yeah.
in my opinion, for a long time. So hopefully they continue that. I think they will. All right, next news story. Sony confirms that the PlayStation 5 will not support SSD storage expansion at launch. This week, Sony has confirmed to The Verge that you won't be able to expand SSD storage on day one for the PlayStation 5. While the PlayStation 5 features a dedicated internal slot that can theoretically fit standard stick-shaped M.2 SSDs, the slot will apparently be disabled out of the box. Mark Cerny states, "It's great if it happened by launch, but it's unlikely that that it's likely to be a bit past it, so please hold off on getting that M.2 drive until you hear from us in the future." Apparently, uh, first of all, this is kind of perplexing to me. I know that, like, if you date back all the way, God, when was the Road to PS5 talk? Like in March or something? That amazing speech that Mark
Yeah.
Cerny gave, he was talking specifically about M.2 SSDs. And I know that like the technology generally is trying to catch up with where the PlayStation 5 is clocked at. And he was saying, like they need a floor speed of 5.5 gigabytes per second of bandwidth to even be compatible with the PS5. And then there's also a
That's
size restriction too.
yeah, that's up there.
So,
Yeah, I
so
mean, this is like a 1% problem. I mean, this is, first world problem really. Because not a lot of people are going to be looking to update that day one, I don't think, because there's not a big availability of those that meet the specs. There's
yeah,
one Samsung, or was it Samsung, or
I know Western Digital had some that
yeah,
meet the speed spec, is what I've
yeah. There's
heard.
not a
But
lot out there that actually, um, meet the requirements, but there'll be more obviously. But I think they just decided to focus on the dev kits. That's why I feel like one of the reasons why PlayStation's so much more easier, not so much, but from word on the street, it's easier to develop for than the Xbox is because they had their development kits out and ready and finalized a lot quicker than Xbox. Xbox was waiting on that RDNA 2 from AMD, so they didn't have everything finalized and ready to go. So their tool set isn't as feature rich as PlayStation's. So, you know,
Yeah,
with
it's
with everything going on, it's one of those, sacrifices had to be made, and it was an expansion slot because, you know, now if it's something that they don't have in a year or two, then that's going to be troubling. But just use an SSD like an external. That's what most people are going to be doing anyway. So
yeah, and I definitely agree with you. This is like a 1%er problem. Definitely, most likely, nobody's gonna need expandable memory anyway. I mean, to be honest with you, I probably would have considered it for no reason other than I can have it. But it's interesting to me that they say, where was it? They basically disable it. So like perhaps even if you had a Western Digital or whoever made one that's compatible in size and speed on paper, it's like seems like it's maybe software disabled out of the box and they'll enable that later. It's really weird, but
yeah, it's probably just disabled in the BIOS. So
yeah.
I'm sure you give it a week and someone's going to have it hacked. So
Hacked
I
in
mean,
the
yeah, hack source.
SSD.
So, but yeah,
So anyway, that was a thing. I was kind of interested to hear that, but I'm sure like come January when M.2s are more readily available in the spec that they need, they might just flip the switch and whatever it works now.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
as much as you want to have that big beefy hard drive, just get an SSD for now, kids, and then wait because the prices are going to go down and the sizes are going to go up, and you'll be glad you waited.
You'll be rolling in the gigabits or
Yeah,
whatever.
like the gateway one for the Xbox, I'm going to wait on because it's expensive and it's only a gig. So I'd rather wait
Yeah.
and to get at least a minimum of 2. So,
Is that the 2 increments? Just a gig and 2? What are the increments for those? Do you
right
know?
now it's just 1.
Just the single. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
but more vendors and sizes will be available later on. I'm
Yeah.
sure Seagate's got a 6 or 12-month something. I don't know. They got something. They got a big deal with them. They've always
Yeah. Right.
been partners, so I'm sure there's some kind of exclusivity
Yeah.
with that.
I could see that. All right, next news topic. It was announced on the PlayStation blog just today, November 5th, that all launch day PS5 consoles sold through to non-pre-order customers will only be available online and not in store. This is taken from the blog, like I said, begin quote, in the interest of keeping our gamers, retailers, and staff safe amidst COVID-19, today we are confirming that all day of launch sales will be conducted through the online stores of our retail partners. No units will be available in store for purchase on launch day, which is November 12th or 19th, depending on your region. So please don't plan on camping out or lining up at your local retailer on launch day in hopes of finding a PS5 console for purchase. Be home, stay safe, place your order online. So I personally think that this is because they don't have any.
Yeah, I think they both manufacturers just sold as many as they could online because
Yeah.
of all things considered,
Yeah.
and the likelihood of having anything left over is just non-existent.
Slim to nada.
Yeah, because everything was done online pretty much, with the exception of a few in-store orders. But yeah, I saw it was a GameStop and Target got out there with some leaked ads. Or
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I've
say
heard
leaked,
that
but
a
some ads
few.
saying like, "Hey, we'll have stuff, but it's online for like Black Friday." So
Hasn't the Xbox popped up from time to time from Microsoft Direct? Am I imagining?
yeah, Microsoft Store had a few, and then Best Buy was like sporadically popping up
Hmm.
like throughout like a random Tuesday. So those been trickling out as well.
Well,
So
I'm skeptical. I mean, I think Jim Ryan was just saying a few like weeks ago that they had sold as many PS5 consoles in 12 hours than they did in the first 12 weeks for PS4. So I think all their through allotment is completely vouched for. And he had even said, if you want a PS5 on launch day, that if you didn't pre-order, you may not be able to find one. So I think they're done.
Yep.
They're gone. But
I mean, the demand for both machines is just exponential since the last 2 releases. So
it is cray.
It's not. I mean, it's unfortunate for those that couldn't secure one, but it's not really a shocker.
I wonder what the. I remember, when the Xbox Series X and S pre-sales had happened. The big surprise to me was that they were relatively strong in Japan. I would kind of wonder like what the pre-sale figures are for Xbox compared to Xbox One. Do you know off the top of your head, or generally, do you think they
No.
pre-sold more of the series? The series is?
Yeah, probably.
I would guess so too, but I haven't seen any figures on it, but
Yeah, I mean,
I would guess so too.
I have zero information to back that up, but I think worldwide the numbers were stronger than they were before. But I mean, when you're coming out with a machine that's as strong as the Xbox or Series X or S, and you have the messaging is clear this time around, and people aren't sitting there wondering about used games and internet and all that
Yeah, right.
that plagued them the last gen. It's just bound to happen,
Yeah, they know what they're buying.
Yeah.
Here's some rumor and speculation. I didn't know if I wanted to throw this into the news, but this damn story won't die. Rumor has it that Silent Hill is going to make an appearance at the Game Awards show, which is in December 12th, and that it's on PS5, exclusively on PS5, developed by Konami. This story won't die. So at this point, I guess if there's smoke, we'll see if there's a fire. But have you been hearing this at all?
It's it's that 3-month cycle. There's a big new conference coming up. Let's talk about Silent Hill and exclusivity.
Yeah. Push the button on the rumor mill. It's going.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard anything concrete about anything really. I mean, other than just whispers in the storm. Like,
yeah. Did you hear the rumor that Metal Gear Solid is being developed by Naughty Dog? That's a good one.
No, I haven't heard that one at all.
Okay.
Or that was completely hard debunked.
That one was confirmed bullshit.
Yeah, Jim Ryan tweeted, he's like, there's no plans right now. Thank you.
It was a DM to me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a topic of the show going, Sonic Boom.
Okay. Are we done with the news?
Yeah, it's very, very light. It's very light. I had one other thing. Gran Turismo 7 apparently scheduled to release in first half of 2021. That's another. That was actually based on a YouTube PlayStation official ad that had that in like the bottom fine print of this video. So
yeah.
But hey, it doesn't shock me. They had the damn thing running, and I think it's just a more or less Gran Turismo Sport that's modified for the PlayStation 5. So they have the engine, they have everything going. So it wouldn't shock me that it's sooner than you think. That is all. Topic of the show.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for this?
I am. Here, let me get a drink of beer and
swig it down, baby.
Beverage.
Some bev. Next Generation starts next week, Sonic Boom, as we have been saying for weeks now.
That's like 5 days.
It's so freaking soon.
That's insane.
It is crazy.
We're gonna be smelling consoles and
we're gonna be getting our
boxes and
yep.
shoving styrofoam packaging up our nose and
yeah, it's gonna be smelly and it's gonna be
Did
awesome.
I ever tell you about my PS2 debacle?
No.
So I pre-ordered it and it came late.
Okay.
And then when I opened it, the tray was slightly out, like the disc tray. And I tried to pull it, or I did something, and the faceplate popped right off.
Oh dear God!
Brand new $400 machine.
Oh my God!
Broken day one. I had to super glue it back on.
It's classy. Keep it classy, Sonic Boom. Were you happy about that? Did you curse loudly?
Oh, I was so just like down in the dumps that I'd spent all this money on this thing that turned out to be just a hunk of plastic.
You poor man. I'm sorry.
As PS2 was.
No, it's funny because I as you know, but the listeners, tens of thousands of listeners don't know. I actually worked in a used video game store for many, many years. And when you work that side of the beast, when you're in the belly of the beast, you see video games differently. And you also see like the reoccurring issues with consoles. Like, okay, I can tell you the problems with what's happened with the PS2. I can generally tell you the problems that happened with the Xbox 360. I can generally tell you things that happen with the DS, the clamshell DS. You know, like all
Yeah.
of these consoles have their
They're the
tendencies
things.
to break.
Do you remember what game we used to run? Because we both worked at the same used game store that wasn't a GameStop.
Yeah,
Let's
that's right.
put that. We're gonna put that baby to bed. It wasn't
That baby.
GameStop, so don't.
That's right. That's right. Don't send us hate mail, please.
Yeah, no. We overlapped a little bit, but your tenure kind of ended before I was in full swing. But do you remember what game we used to use to test the PS2?
I used the PlayStation 2 had two different formats. Obviously, it was a compact disc, which were blueback discs. I used Contra Shattered Soldier. That was
Yeah,
the game that I used.
baby. That was notoriously
go-to, baby, yeah.
the hardest game to run on that system.
Yeah, and if
'Cause
it
all
runs Contra, it does anything under the sun.
Yeah, we popped that in. If it ran, we
Yep.
immediately took that system for cash or credit.
That's right. That's right.
And if it didn't, it gave us the disc read error, or Dr. Dre, as we called it. Yeah. We were like, nope, sorry.
Then you
Or we took it
news.
we would take it at reduced because we'd send it to Denver to get fixed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like 9 times out of 10, I could fix the problem with the PlayStation 2. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be a permanent fix, but it was ridiculously simple. I could make it work for at least 3 to 4 more months. I could squeeze out some more milk out of
Did
that.
you wrap it in a towel, put it in the oven?
No,
Oh, no, it was a 360.
I didn't
Wait, what?
Yeah, I did that with that. I tried the towel trick with my 360. I went through 4 of them, and I could never get that trick to work for me, and I
No,
was
it
so
didn't.
upset about it.
I was like, that had to have been just an old wives' tale. There's no way, because you're not going to get it hot enough to melt solder back onto a chip.
And that was
Doing
the
it that
thing,
way.
like, I tried it. I think with, like, the 3rd one, I started to try it, and I'm like, "This is" even as I was doing it, I'm like, "This is so stupid. This is not gonna work. I'm a dumbass, and someone is laughing at my expense somewhere in the world," so I felt stupid.
You were like that guy that was like, "Oh, your phone won't charge. Try put it in the microwave. That'll charge it." And you're like,
30
"Okay."
seconds on high.
Yeah.
There you go. God damn. Yeah, but the Xbox 360, man, that was, looking back, like, Microsoft responded to that super well. I remember when they finally had, like, their console replacement program thing going.
Yeah.
Like, they sent you a box, they sent you postage.
The cardboard coffin.
Yeah, that's right, and, like, they flipped it really quick, and it was actually really good. Looking back, it's like, it's kind of amazing that I think it kinda speaks to their dominance at the time, because that really didn't stop that train almost at all. It was crazy. So, good on them.
Did you ever listen to the Unlocked that had Peter Moore and I think it was Phil Spencer? And they were
Oh,
talking,
dude.
and they talked about that and how Peter Moore was like writing math out on a cocktail napkin when it was brought to his attention that the thing they kind of like overlooked and said this won't be too much of a problem became a massive problem, and he mathed out how it's going to be like a $3 billion issue.
Yeah. No, I
Switched
have
it.
heard I have heard that issue, but it's been that episode. It's been a really long time. That stuff's really really interesting to me, and I think that the Xbox 360, obviously it changed Xbox forever, and it made it a mainstay. Certainly, the original Xbox was awesome, but the Xbox 360, I think, was definitely their pronouncement that, like, we're not going anywhere, and
Yeah.
not only are we not going anywhere, we're going to be a factor from here on out, and I think that's held true. But, like, ever since the 360, I think they have definitely, like, over-engineered the cooling for, like, every Xbox.
I think
Certainly with the
everyone
Xbox
has.
One.
I
Yeah,
think
no, it's
everyone
true.
did.
No, it's
I mean,
seriously true.
the PS3 cooling solution was pretty dang good too. That fan was huge.
Yeah, that thing
So
was
they
amazing.
knew what they were doing. But yeah, every system since then has been just all about cooling.
Speaking
So.
of the cooling for the Xbox Series X, I do remember reading just today from several people that it's, like, super super quiet. It doesn't shock me, because I've been hearing that the Xbox Series X in particular, it's, like, really slick the way that they engineered it vertically. I know that they say that you can lay it down or stand it up, but I really think it was designed to stand up, and that's just where they want the airflow to go.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's that.
Got the
The
holes in the top,
stand,
baby.
the stand on the bottom, you
Oh
can't
yeah,
take
that
it off
circle
because
thing.
that's where the air comes in from the bottom.
Started
So
from the bottom. Now we're here,
yeah, so
as they say.
it's a monolith. It's just this just hulking piece of power that looks good. So yeah, that's why the little logos, it's fashioned. for
Yeah.
standing, not laying down.
No, I think the look of it's really cool. I thought from the beginning it was a really just really smart little block. I like the way it looks.
Yeah. All right, so topic. What were we getting?
Yeah, topic of the show. Next gen predictions. I want to hear like what are your thoughts? And I don't know if you had anything prepared. I've got a couple of things. They're these are designed to be fun, so they don't have to be like well reasoned necessarily. If you just have some crazy ass idea, you can put on your tinfoil hat. It's okay.
Okay.
This is a safe space for tinfoil hats. Tinfoil hats welcome. I've got a couple thoughts, like I said. Do you have anything you would like to lead off with, or would you like me to lead off?
I'll start with the safe ones.
Okay, yeah, hit me.
We'll say streaming, the xCloud service, and Ultimate Game Pass. I think that's just going to blow up between their new focus for like the Asian market and how they're really putting a lot of effort into Game Pass and streaming.
Yeah.
That we're going to see it just get silly numbers this next 7-8 years. Like, I think how we saw digital sales increase to where it's 1-to-1 now,
Yeah.
or even more.
It's exceeded, yeah.
It's exceeding.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're going to see that in that level of enthusiasm and adoption here in like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think secretly Microsoft is trying to get themselves out of the hardware business by having just a streaming service.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's a long-term goal for them. So let me ask you this. I'll just ask the hard question straight up front. Do you think that they will reclaim the crown in the North American region?
Timidly yes, with the Series S, because that $300 price tag, it's a sweet spot, and a lot of people bag on it because it doesn't do 4K, but it'll have some ray tracing.
I don't think most people care about 4K.
No, it's still like 4K TVs is like the adoption rate on that is like not even 30%. Most people still have 1080p. So being able to get a system that does up to 440 and plays all the next gen games, has the load speeds, has CPU speeds, all that. It just doesn't do the output of a 4K machine. Like, that's going to be amazing at the price tag. So I think they are going to use that to really sell consoles. And I say they're going to sell enough to where they start announcing numbers again.
I will be really interested to see. It's interesting because usually when I ask you about like console launch and kind of like gaining traction with sales for you, you're pretty consistent with the price point of launch hardware. I don't disagree with you necessarily. For some reason in my mind, it's not that I'm like underrating the Series S. I kind of keep forgetting about it, and like it's cool that they have that as a side piece. It's like a side hustle because that makes them really like flexible with with like two directions that they could go with the Xbox brand as far as it relates to hardware, Like that could become in a year from now, maybe that becomes the standard or kind of the average consumer console, and then you still have the high end for your core Xbox guys, but it could very well be that thing kind of takes over,
be the lead SKU.
And that's
absolutely.
That's really cool.
I mean,
really cool.
Even Phil was saying like, I fully expect the S to outsell the X. Like, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's interesting too.
It's cheaper to make, it's cheaper to sell. It's smaller, like you can get more in a box. Like, it's just everything about it logistically, financially.
Yeah.
It's going to sell better, And I think if Microsoft wanted, they could have sold the Xbox at a bigger loss than they are now. To your point of my whole price point thing. But they knew that they could sell it at 500 and have no problem because all the new hardware that's been coming out recently, the last couple of years, has been that higher price point, and tech heads have had no problem paying that price. So they're like, well, let's just go the other way. Let's just make our bottom one even cheaper. So like 300, like that's $200 disparity that's a big gap. So
that's significant.
Yeah.
That is
And then
significant. It's interesting also though that like pre-sales, it didn't seem like they allotted very many Series S for pre-sale, which tells me either they know who's going to buy at launch, which is your core, so your your
yeah,
Series X folks, but that tells me also that they probably plan on shipping a hell of a lot of Series S in the next 6 months, maybe
yeah, I
to a
bet the
year.
factories are just pumping those out now for, the Q2 and Q3s of next year,
Yeah,
because they're gonna get as
they
much
dropped.
money back as they can with the X.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
all right, what about you? What's your heavy hitter?
Yeah. See, I guess I'll kind of riff on that. I guess this one's not a shocker, but I just wanted to dovetail because I agree with you. I think Game Pass and the way that they have their sales model set up, that's gonna change like software delivery forever in the console space. And I think that Microsoft, like it's funny because like with the Xbox One, I think they got a little ahead of themselves because they wanted to push a digital future. They wanted to do it like 6 years ago. They wanted to do
Mhm.
it. That's their strength as a company, and that's where I think they see themselves really taking over. And I definitely see that as a possibility for sure for them. Um,
Yeah, they wanted to be the next Steam. Like,
yeah,
Steam
they
has
do.
amazing sales because they're all digital, and
Yeah,
people
they
whined and cried
yeah.
about it, and it's like, well, if you want better prices, like, the first couple of years are gonna suck, but,
No,
like,
yeah, it's a process. It's a
it's a
process. Is
yeah.
all I'm really saying. And Um, the fun one thing that I definitely believe about the gaming industry or consumer sales for gaming, it's really finicky and it doesn't behave like a lot of other industries that are technology driven that you would think would follow the same cycle. Like we've also had the kind of rise of a lot of other subscription services like Netflix,
Mhm.
et cetera, that make this the right time for them to do it. But when with the original Xbox One with the DRM whole thing, the gaming community is really finicky and they're oddly picky and they're oddly just kind of whiny. I hate to say
They
that, but
they
we
are.
kind of are,
No.
and I'm part of that too. Like I cling to some really archaic things, like my physical media, and I'm just kind of like this relic of an era that is quickly dying. It is quickly dying, and Microsoft, I don't think they're still kind of seen as like a newer kid on the block in some ways, and I think that it's cool that they kind of lead the charge. It just the market wasn't ready for it. I'm skeptical that we're all together ready for it in some ways, but I do think it's time. But more, I guess, getting back to my point, like by the end of this console cycle, Sony is going to pivot to some hybrid service that will offer a membership of first party titles. They have, with the PlayStation 5, they're introducing this PlayStation Collection, which is like PS4 games. Really, really high quality first party. I mean, it's like their gems that they're offering as a PlayStation Collection. I see them expanding that to include PS5 first party games with a membership like tiered basis. It won't be cheap, but they're going to do that by the end of this console cycle because of what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. And I think
Yeah.
Sony sees that future coming.
Yeah,
The software delivery is going to change forever.
they're gearing up. I mean, they're partnering with Microsoft to get those Azure, server stuff.
Yeah, right.
So,
It's coming.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's
definitely
coming.
coming. I mean, they have two SKUs for the PS5. One of them is digital only, so that tells you the writing on the wall right there too. But I don't think that Sony won't be prepared in some way. I mean, they have their IPs that's the lifeline of their company, and that's why they've invested in them also, and why I think when that future comes too, Nintendo will be well positioned because they've invested literally 35 years to build their brand recognition. So.
Yeah. Speaking of pricing, this time next year, do you see all games, majority of games coming out priced at $70?
Hmm.
PlayStation's about it, and the 2K series is about it. I'm sure EA will be about it, and Activision will be about it here very soon.
It's so interesting. Like, I don't think sales are no. I don't. Well, okay. I see that price point sticking for the foreseeable future. I think companies want to make money, and I think gamers, oddly, also because we love these products and we treat them like, I don't know. We sometimes don't want to see companies as making money for some reason because the things they make we love, and for I don't know why. I guess all I'm saying is like you forget the fact that these people are in it to make money, and
Yeah,
that's why
which
they're
is
doing what
true.
they do.
And they
So
make a lot of it. None of these
they make
companies are
yeah
I mean, that's a whole other conversation. None of these companies are going poor,
yeah right
you know?
it's it's going to be really interesting, like just the pioneering of like Game Pass. It's kind of it's so funny because I feel like they are trying to turn the traditional sales model on its head, and it's kind of bucking the system sort of. And
I
Sony is clinging to the traditional sales model. I think they will do it as long as humanly possible.
Well, it's
I
working for them, so I don't see them getting rid of it anytime
and
soon.
I think everybody else would want it too, because if your major player is holding a $70 line, like that means everybody can do it. That's probably how they
Yeah.
see it, So, I mean, in the meantime, I think a lot of games on the Xbox are going to be $70 too, right? I mean, the
Mm,
cross.
they have
If a Ubisoft game comes out for 70 on PlayStation, it'll be 70 on the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, publishers have the right to charge whatever they want. And we've been getting, groomed to pay $80, $90 for gold or platinum edition, special big box editions,
Yeah, or
so it's
plastic editions. Yeah.
yeah, so like I'm surprised it took so long, unfortunately, but um I going to the next gen, I'm at this point I only buy like one brand new game a year, maybe.
Yeah, I remember you saying
It's
that. That like kind of surprises me, but
yeah, like it's got to be like the big triple quadruple A game,
yeah.
like Assassin's Creed and Cyberpunk are probably the only two games I buy
Mm-hmm.
brand new. Well, I take that back. Launch, I'm buying a few games. I'm also getting Call of Duty, but generally I wait for Game Pass or I wait for uh, something used if I can get it used. Which I don't buy a lot of used games anymore either. I
No,
just wait
I
for
don't
Game
either.
Pass
Yeah.
because
It's
those are day one for Microsoft games. So or Black Friday, buy at most of the time when I spend money on a brand new game, it's $35, between 30 and 40 for Black Friday.
Man, you're a disciplined
Uh,
lad, because I spend way more on games than I should be. It's definitely a problem for me,
yeah,
but I
we
spend
just
a
different
lot.
lifestyles, like you don't
Have a
you got
family?
yeah. Well, I don't want to put it that way. You have different
No, I mean, you've got different.
responsibilities than I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, and
Yeah,
understandably so. You're a responsible man,
yeah.
so
I spent $100 on shoes and mittens and snow attire for my kids yesterday.
the
So
necessaries. Yeah,
yeah,
bundle those kids up.
yeah, because they won't stop
So
freaking growing.
I don't think they ever stop growing. That's the other thing. They
No,
don't warn you
God,
at an
eat and eat and
alarming
eat and
rate,
eat and eat and eat and eat.
astronomical pace, child.
All right, what else? What else you got for predictions?
Here's one that you're gonna not like.
Ugh.
Um, Dual Sense. I think that it is, like I said, tinfoil hats half on, but I really do believe this. DualSense is about to change console gaming for PlayStation, and I think by the end of this generation, Microsoft is going to introduce haptics into their controller in a much greater way than it is right now, and adaptive triggers and all that stuff. My only thought really is this: don't underestimate a controller. It's the front porch of your gaming experience. Yes, it makes a great first impression. And, we talked about this last week, and I agree with you. I'm skeptical about how third parties are going to use this, if at all. Um, but a controller is like the front porch of your gaming experience. It's your first impression. More importantly, though, it defines the experience you have. Like, to me, the genius of the Nintendo Wii, for all its shortcomings, as I see it, it really created a controller that changed the interface of games for newcomers, but it changed the interface of games, and it made it the centerpiece of that console was that controller for the Wii. Now, I'm not saying this is like Wii in the sense that it's creating an interface that welcomes people who feel kind of probably scared of video games because they seem what I'm saying is DualSense is like the waggle moment for core gaming. This is the new waggle, but this is
Put
for
your
core
strap
gamers.
on.
Yeah, that's right. Put your strap on, and it's like the controller will be synonymous with technology in console in 5 years, and I think it's going to expand the gamut of how games like affect our experience playing them. I really do think that controllers have not really changed that much in the last 2 cycles, and this is a waggle moment for core gaming. I mean, like I said, tinfoil hat, half on, but everything I'm hearing about the DualSense is wow, that feels different. Even like Digital Foundry, John Lenneman, like one of the first things he said was, "I haven't been impressed with a controller in a really long time," and like that means something. And everybody I've seen have reactions are like, "Damn, this thing is really really cool," and you
He
have
was
to
paid to
feel its
say
crowd.
that.
They're all
Of
paid.
course. Of
No,
course.
I really, and the good thing is, I mean, it's not like Sony owns haptic feedback. Like this can be integrated into any controller, really. But I really do think that this is something that makes them unique, at least out of the gate, and I think it will influence other controllers. I do,
Well,
I really
I
do.
hope it's not a gimmick. Hopefully it catches on and becomes a thing. It'd be nice to, like you said, controllers haven't done much. They've had their things here and there, but that's
No, but
why that's why the Xbox controller hasn't really changed much. Like
well, when
a
you get it
control,
right, you don't need to change it.
Yeah, it's like they figured it out the first time and just kind of iterated on it
Then
as
there's
time
nothing
went
wrong
on.
with that. There's nothing wrong with that. In
No.
fact, I remember them saying like we put a lot of R&D into just the damn controller. A lot of people don't even think about that, but like those things go through R&D, baby. That takes a lot of time to get that
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the different if you ever seen them all sitting on a table, just the different
Yeah, right.
shapes and sizes and
Exactly, yeah. All
so.
flavors. Well, hit me with one of yours, Sonic Boom. Hit us.
Ooh.
Hit us hard. Hit me hard with something crazy. Get your
Ooh.
tinfoil hat.
I'd be shocked if GameStop made it through the next 10 years.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, dude. Microsoft threw him a life raft. Jesus.
in a way, yeah. I mean, money changed hands. They're not just giving away their tablets and their stuff for free, but I don't see used game stores as what they are now. Like, if you've been in a game store recently, it's just like it's 90% of it is Zelda lamps, Kirby pillows, and Overwatch socks, and
Yeah, it
a
is.
whole wall of pop figs.
It's
Like
collectibles, man.
it's
It's
not
collectibles.
video games. Like
No,
they can't
no.
like the days of selling video games. It's just not where it's at for brick and mortar anymore.
It's rapidly changing, and it's interesting to think. Actually, this is a really good topic that you thought of, but it's funny because like I am feeling older all the time, and while I don't have to go into my age and all that, I feel it definitely in video game stores because it is changing. It is changing, and it has changed. This console generation, I really started to notice it, but man, that it tells you like how critically important it is what these consoles do and how software is delivered to us. I don't know. It's just kind of a touchstone of gaming culture is GameStop, and I know a lot of people hate it, but I like that it was around, and I like going in them. I like going visiting GameStop just for shiggles, but I agree with you. I think they're going the way of the dodo, unfortunately. Hell, even Best Buy is having a go of it right now. So
Yeah. The missus works there, and I'm just shocked that people, the amount of money they make off of things is just staggering.
oh, really? Well, I actually love Best Buy. I hope that they're around forever. I love
It's
Best Buy.
gotten better, yeah, but I'm
Sometimes I want.
biased, so
I like Best Buy a lot. All right. Well,
shoot, I had one other one. Now you keep riffing. I had another one. I'm trying to think of. I
I'm
just had
sorry.
it.
I know. I keep cutting you
Oh
off. I'm sorry.
no! I had it, and then I stopped, and I looked. What was it? It'll come to me.
I
What's your
have. This is my biggest tinfoil hat, and you're gonna love this one.
okay?
And yeah, so and I'm sorry. I know I always say I talk too much, and I do, but
I love your
I'm sorry.
voice.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. You know me as Matt, but my God-given name is Sony Warhorse. The people
Your
need to know
Christian
that.
soldier name.
My Christian soldier name is Sony Warhorse, and I'm really excited about the PlayStation 5. We've talked at times about like the technology between the Xbox Series X specifically and the PlayStation 5. I think the console war is all flaming around that, how they stack up, how they compare to each other. And I think a lot of marketing has gone into selling the Xbox Series X as a technological behemoth, which it is. It's interesting that Sony, by and large, Sony really hasn't countered with a whole lot of like technology in terms of specs and this sort of thing. It's been interesting for me to watch. This is my tinfoil hat, okay? I think the PlayStation 5 is going to change the way that games are designed. It's not going to happen right away. I've personally always thought about video games as an art form just simply because they're creative endeavors. And I'm not trying to tinfoil hat you with this, and I don't mean to sound like a
Keep
Sony war
going.
horse show. But like the PlayStation 5 IO complex is new ideas about hardware architecture. And I think you're gonna see those concepts in the PC gaming space like in a year or two. I know, tinfoil hat, okay. It's not gonna happen right away, but it will happen. And I have a couple of podcasts that I listen to, so a lot of this is takes on what they have been saying and hearing from people that they know that work on these things, and developers and the like. So I'm trying to I'm not a highly intelligent man, okay, but
I,
I'm
I see.
trying to
I see what you're saying. I
stuff.
think having a dedicated SSD is going to be a game changer down the road because having the faster load times and the faster memory bandwidth and these uh, better CPUs is going to give developers more freedom to do things they just physically technically couldn't do before.
And the thing is, I think okay, just based on what I've been hearing from them, this is from Moore's Law is Dead and Red Tech Gaming. These are like two YouTube guys that talk a lot about PC and GPUs and all that stuff. But like what they say is like the sharing of information between the caches on the GPU and the CPU and the PS5 is that's the secret sauce for them. That they directly share resources in cache. And that concept is like this is where you hear this crazy shit with our DNA 3 people saying this
Yeah.
because but this is their words, not mine. So I've been hearing this stuff and I'm like, where is this coming from? But apparently, according to what they say, is that like this sharing of cache resource, that is why this whole thing is coming up. Because that concept will apply to multiple GPU like chiplets, sharing access to memory across dies. That specifically is what PCs will be doing in the near future. And that like low latency smart access memory between it's all about this data management and sharing and low latency. Like I said, I don't pretend to know everything about it, but this is really it. It's the instant loading on the PS5, which is like theoretically impossible on anywhere else at this moment because of that. The PS5, I don't know if you've heard of Oodle and this Kraken technology. This is like data compression stuff, but the PS5 will be able to go past 17 gigabytes a second on the PS5. It has 16 gigs of RAM, so it can like fill a whole set of RAM and crank it in under a second. That's like that IO complex of the PS5, that right there. And that's like Xbox is really proud of I'm not saying it's more powerful than an Xbox. What I'm saying is the amount of RAM that they can crank through in a given second that is the secret sauce for the PS5. And again, like when you're talking about teraflops, that's about like computational power. And the Xbox has that in droves also. But I'm saying it's that gigs per second thing. I'm not gonna pretend to know where that goes from here, but like when you see like the tech demo for like Unreal Engine 5 version running on a PS5 and stuff like that, that has to do with that specific technology and the geometry engine on the PlayStation 5. The geometry engine on the PS5 is like a proprietary thing built by Sony, but it has to do with more or less it has to do with like triangles and density an asset. And if you go back and watch the Unreal Engine 5 demo, like they're talking about those exact things. Again, this is half tinfoil hat, but I think that it's just the I/O that is the PS5 magic. I don't know where that goes, but I think that is what differentiates it, and that's what makes it special. And when you're talking about game design and development, again, I don't know where that eventually goes, but that's like the damn thing will load high density, high detail assets as soon as you can turn the camera and look. It's 17 gigs in a second of data.
That's fast. Yeah, I mean, Sony focused on speed. Microsoft went with power. So we'll see some radically different games here in the next 4 or 5 years.
And it's not going to happen right away. And I think out of the gate, people are going to be like, "Oh, these things look the same." Well, they're going to act the same for a while.
I think with like Unreal 5 not even available yet, and the RDNA tool sets just becoming available not so long ago, that I think this gen, it's going to take us a little bit longer to see the true potential of these machines compared to last gen.
And Unreal Engine 5 is going to run on Xbox too, by the way. I mean, they said that. I think like
I mean, it's
one or two other in-house stuff is going to be.
I mean,
it's going to be everywhere.
They've been huge partners with Unreal forever. So I mean, that's what Gears runs on. So yeah, duh.
But anyway, I just think the game design piece, it sounds kind of out. I don't know. It's not out there, but like game design is going to change. And I don't know where that goes, but like to me, games are all about creative freedom. And when you have more of that suddenly in a way that we have, again, I'm not trying to sound like a Sony warhorse here, but like the data per second, it's not just about load speeds. Like the SSD acts as RAM kind of, the way that this unified memory works is what I hear. And like for example, the Xbox, like peak speed is like, I think 6 gigs a second, 4 to 6. It's like 6 top. So if like that data that's available in 1 second, that's all the difference for PS5. I don't know if that makes a difference long term, but I do think first, like in-house Sony studios are going to do some really weird shit. Kind of like what you see with Ratchet, which, I mean, that's just kind of a glimpse that like, what is it? Like he goes through a portal and the whole world is pulled in. Like that kind of stuff. A lot of people look at that and it's like, oh, that's kind of new, but
yeah, we'll see more of that. For sure.
We'll see where that goes.
I remember my other prediction.
It hit me. Get crazy with it, Sonic Boom.
I guess it's another safe one, but obviously both Xbox and PlayStation are going to be buying more developers, because that's just kind of the quick and easy way to get your stable up and running, is to just buy talent, because opening up a new studio it's hard, it's costly, and it's slow. So I definitely see Xbox and soon making another huge acquisition. I wouldn't even say they are going to buy a Japanese studio.
Ooh, please don't say Capcom. Oh dear God.
No, it's me, Platinum.
Oh, Yeah, that would actually be a dope ass acquisition for Microsoft.
That's a feather they need in their cap. They're going to squash the beef with Scalebound and that debauchery, that money pit, and they're gonna get good with Japanese courts and the higher ups, because there's rules and regulations around buying and selling companies in Japan when it comes to foreign entities.
Really? It doesn't shock me, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm not a botanist. I don't know the actual ins and outs of it, but I know that Microsoft just couldn't come over there and throw a bunch of money at them. It had to be approved. Kind of like we have the FCC here, which, for whatever that is, they have to approve some of these larger mergers, acquisitions,
sure.
Buyouts, things like that. So,
dude, I don't know why I hadn't thought of Platinum. That's like that would be a perfect match for Microsoft.
It's a hole in their portfolio. I mean, they've been trying to crack that Japanese nut for ever. I mean, they had that studio they opened up. Was it Mistwalker?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Yeah, and they put out some games that were definitely catered to that audience. They had that big event for the 360 there. Like they've, Phil flies over to Asia, a couple times a year and does his thing. to get the Budokai marketing rights. So
His annual.
yeah, I think his persistence will start to pay off.
Well, dude, I mean, if the Series S shows any kind of sales indication like that, that's a pathway for them, and I think that's awesome. It's going to be really interesting to see how that market takes to the Buick PS5 because I think that form factor is so important to the Japanese market, and the Series S is way more like, I don't know. I don't want to say
they're about size there. I mean, there's pictures of them laughing at the size of the original Xbox because of how big it was. And that's one of the reasons it didn't sell is because it's just too big for
enormous.
Japan. And then you got the Series S, which is the size of a Coke can. Like
that thing is, I think the Series S form factor is so cool. I
that
really
might,
like it.
Rejuvenate console gaming because console gaming isn't as big in Japan as people think it is. It's all about mobile now.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I want those gacha games. I want that Genshin Impact on their phone. So
damn right. I like that. Do you have any more predictions?
No, I didn't have anything too crazy. Play it safe. That
I guess I didn't either. But dude, actually, let's do two things. Sonic Boom. If you are ready to go to quickfire questions.
Oh, I am.
Okay, but before we do that, I want to tell the people next week, and actually maybe we can do a short business meeting here without Greg. But next week, obviously, next Tuesday the 10th Xbox drops, and then next Thursday the 12th PS5 drops. We're hoping to get 2 podcasts out next week.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, and just be patient with us. But we're hoping to drop one on Wednesday the 11th and on Friday the 13th, just to give our quick knee-jerk reactions, or knee-jerks, if you will. Next
like
gen
a true short episode, like an hour tops of just
right. In-N-Out Burger. What do you think? What do you love?
What did it smell like?
What
did the styrofoam taste like?
Yep, taste it, smell it, live it, love it, all those things. But I'm really, really interested to hear. I'm actually really interested to hear your thoughts on the Series X Sonic Boom. Assuming you get it on time. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to be praying for you, boy. Damn.
Yeah. I'm praying for you too. Till it's in our hand,
Yeah, I know. I don't believe it.
That's why I took days. That's why I didn't take Tuesday off, because I don't trust anyone or anything.
So. Yeah, I didn't take Thursday off for the same reason. I'm like, nope, you're going to screw me over.
Yeah.
Someone. All right. Let's go to our quick fire question, Sonic Boom. And
all right.
Passing the torch to you, because this week it's your turn to turn it on me. It's your opportunity.
Just get this out. There we go.
And these better be
quick fire. Oh,
like what my unicorn name would be or something.
All right, let's get into it. Quick fire questions. Matt, Phil Spencer or Peter Moore?
Spencer.
Nice. Sean Layden or Andrew House?
Ooh. Damn. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna say House.
That's the right answer. All right.
Well, what about you? I want you to answer too.
Phil Spencer, Andrew House. Yeah. Peter Moore.
Oh, nice.
I love the guy, but everything he touches it breaks. Dreamcast, Xbox, it just.
Spencer does so much for Microsoft. We don't have to go all into it. He is amazing. He is really great for Microsoft, and he's great for gaming.
Yeah,
writ large.
I'm gonna miss Sean Layden too.
No, I like Sean. Layden. I like Sean Layden.
Yeah, that's a whole other story, but yeah, he got bullied out. All right, here we go. What was the Xbox best new IP this gen, and why is it Sea of Thieves?
Oh, why is it? Well, here's the thing. I have to reserve my perspective on some of these because I haven't played a lot of. Like, I have never even touched Sunset Overdrive. I have it. I know it's really
sacrilege.
Bad. I know it sucks. It's terrible. Sea of Thieves really, really interests me, and conceptually, I think it's like one of the dopest things Microsoft has done this gen. If you're talking about IPs, oh dear God. Like, I'm having a hard time. They're not IPs from Microsoft. I think Ori was phenomenal, and I think Cuphead was one of the finest constructed games this entire generation. It wouldn't have happened without Microsoft.
Yeah, and we're still waiting on that DLC, whenever we get that.
Yeah, right. What is it even going to be called? Like,
There's a name. It's got Lady Chalice in it, right? Chalice, Miss Chalice. See, that's how little we know about it, because it's anyway. All right, quick fire.
What about you? Wait! I want to hear from you, baby. You say Sea of Thieves? That's yours.
I think it's got the most potential. It's just a fun pirate sandbox of just having fun.
I hope they keep iterating on it, because it can have like brand new life on Series X.
Yeah.
It's going to go right into where they're going as a company. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Ori's and the Cupheads are phenomenal, and I think those are going to spin off and keep going and doing great things. And Sunset Overdrive too. I hope it happens, even if it's on the other box.
Gonna make it. So I mean, okay. Here's the thing, though. Isn't Sunset Overdrive was on that second party? So like Microsoft would own the IP of Sunset Overdrive, even though they don't obviously.
No, they published it, but Insomniac owns it, just like Crytek owns Rise.
I should have known that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, now that PlayStation has a proper 4K Blu-ray player, what will be your first 4K movie that you play?
Well, I already own a ton of 4K Blu-rays, and the first thing I actually put in there to watch, maybe 1917.
Ooh, I still need to watch that.
Phenomenal conversion. That's a phenomenal, stellar film, 1917. Nice. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's great.
I need to. All right. If you had to leave one PS IP behind, what would it be, and why would it be Days Gone?
Days Gone. I haven't played Days Gone yet. I know, sacrilege. Also, they're actually
what? Man, you are the worst pony.
I'm terrible, dude. I am terrible. I'm a beaten.
You
pony,
are
dude.
a wolf in horse sheep.
I know, it's true. It's so.
What's
true.
the
a sheep
in sheep clothing? Yeah, you're a donkey in horse clothing. You're just hee-hawing your way through the stables.
Jeez, you are mean today, my brother. No, it's true. I'm a phony. I'm a fraud.
Sony phony, get it?
That's actually really good. Days Gone. I want to play it. I don't think it's on the level of their other in-house. I'm not in love with Horizon Zero Dawn, although obviously you wouldn't want to do anything with that because the whole world seems to love it but me. Christ, I'm fine with holding Days Gone as a placeholder. Why am I not thinking of first-party games? Hold on. Why? What do you think?
I mean, obviously, I wrote it in there. Days Gone.
Yeah, right. I guess so. Have you played Days Gone?
No, God, no.
Why not? And why?
It just looks like another generic zombie game. Like,
Call of Duty is another generic shooter, but that's
I got The Last of Us too. Like, I don't need a motorcycle. Like I don't whatever. So
I can't wait for you to play Last of Us 2.
I know that's going to be one of my Black Friday gets. So
I should,
if I can find time between everything else that's coming out. Yeah. All right, last quick fire question. What do you think is Xbox best acquisition this last gen?
I mean, okay, the last gen. You're not including Bethesda in this, then?
This current generation. Yeah, I mean that doesn't officially go through till next year, technically, but you can include that.
I mean, shit, it's got to be that. That's the easy answer, but I think that it immediately changes the landscape of gaming. It's seismic, and it changes to me, it just reiterates Microsoft's whole strategy, and I think they are trying to beat Sony at their own game. It's going to be. I'm to the point where I don't even know what the hell they're going to do with their IPs. I think that they should go exclusive. I do. I think that they should try to beat Sony at their own game, and at the same time change the whole sales model with what they're doing there. So I don't know. I think they can kind of have their cake and eat it too, and they're big enough to do it. They can eat hand over fist money, cost expenditure for whatever sales model they want to do, or really whatever they want to do. So they're in a unique position to big enough to fail on a lot of things. But I got to say that. But I think that their best Cuphead was so damn special, and I know they didn't. That's not really.
No, they don't own that studio.
They don't. That's not your question, but I think that they should have.
I know.
They
I
should
wonder how much money they turned down. Just like
It-
I wonder how much money like what's Blue, what are their name?
Blue Point. Blue Point.
Yeah. Who makes PUBG? What's the company that the guys, Unreal or not Unreal, PlayerUnknown's, whoever makes that studio. I wonder how much money they turned down from Microsoft when PUBG came to Xbox.
PUBG Corp.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to call them Blue Balls, but that's not right.
Blue Hole.
Is it Blue Hole?
Blue Hole.
Who did the port for Titanfall to the 360?
Wasn't that Blue Point?
That's Blue Point. Because didn't they just do something for the PlayStation?
Well, Blue Point is making Demon Souls.
There you go. Okay. Blue Point.
Yeah,
Blue Hole.
Point. That's so confusing, isn't it? Yeah, Blue Hole is player.
And people dog on the Xbox Series S and X. Come on. It's not that hard.
It's okay. It's at least annoying, is what it is.
Yeah.
Is it gonna matter in the end? No, but it's at least annoying.
I wonder how much money. How much money they turned down.
Okay.
How to be?
I have one quick fire question for you.
Oh, this doesn't count.
This is just off the top of my head. If you could have the Xbox magically take one IP from Sony, what would it be?
Ooh.
Could be anything.
Well, my knee jack would be God of War.
I was just about to say it's got to be God of War.
Yeah. Bloodborne would be a close second.
Bloodborne. That's kind of surprising to hear you say that.
Yeah. Because that would fit the. I'm just trying to think of what. Yeah. It'd have to be a single player game. Because Microsoft's MO the last 10 years has been multiplayer. Everything's got multiplayer. Everything's got 4-player. Everything's, everything's play with everybody. So it'd be nice to have them just have a single player game.
Are you at all worried about the sales model for what they're doing to kind of make single player games be service based more than a traditional single player game for Microsoft? Did that question make sense?
In what terms? Like, what game are you getting at?
Okay, like for example, like Halo is an example. I see Halo as being a service-based game.
I don't think it'll be any worse than what they've had in the past. They've had rec packs. You can spend money on Halo 5, and that wasn't too intrusive. I know people were out there talking about how armor skins for Halo Infinite were supposed to be $5, but that was like a promotional thing. Until they announce prices, like that's, you can't put too much stock in that. So, because I think by definition, when you run a competition and you're giving away something, you have to state what its financial value is, and they probably just gave it something, So, but no, I'm not worried.
I like just traditional. I'm an old pony. I really like traditional, just one player. It begins and it ends, and then that's it. That's all. Goodbye.
It was nice that God of War was just that was it. I still think I haven't played. I almost said This Is Us too. Oh, the Last of Us too. Oh man, can you imagine that? I don't see Kate getting away from any zombies. Anyway, I still think The Last of Us needed a sequel. I think it was finite in its execution, and the fact that now whatever ending you chose is moot, because who knows? I'm assuming you picked, since we're going further, I'm guessing you have to save Ellie in the first one to continue the second one, but don't spoil it. So
it was really interesting to see the extreme reactions for The Last of Us Part 2. I don't disagree with you. Last of Us was arguably the best game on the PlayStation 3. It was a really, really awesome game. it could have been fine by itself. It was great by itself. Thing about Last of Us Part 2, I think that I think it's way more complex than Last of Us Part 1 in its storytelling. And I
Yeah,
think that
by
makes
the
it
reaction on the internet, I can see why.
unique. It makes it unique, and I don't know. It kind of goes into like why I really love Sony in-house games. They are kind of art house and up their own ass, kind of. But I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. I think video games can do way more than they do, and I don't know. I think it's cool that that one of the big players in the game believes in that, in storytelling in that way. You know, they're not necessarily scared to make a huge investment on something that might fall flat. I just think that's cool. That's all. That's my thoughts. Sonic Boom.
Cool. Well, kids,
yeah,
5 days from now, you're going to have a new system in your hands. It's going to be beautiful.
Oh my God, Tuesday the 10th, Microsoft. I hope they all ship to you, beautiful children, and I hope that you all get your grubby little paws all over that thing.
It's like Christmas and New Year's, but it's in November.
And
Can't
it's
wait.
even better. And PlayStation 5 on the 12th. So I guess we can sign off with that. Sonic Boom, where can the people find you?
Oh, you can see me at the Pied Piper on Twitter. And
Yes,
hey, how about this? If you guys want to write into us and ask questions, or just tell us how awesome we are, or tell us how we can improve your listening experience, you can write to us at what is the email address while I pause and think about it? Crossplatformchat at Gmail. Send us your
Gmail.
Yeah. Send us your fanfic, your predictions for the next coming apocalypse, etc., etc. We'd love to hear from you.
And we're at Crossplat Chat on Twitter. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. And Instagram.
And on Instagram.
I think that's what I got for Instagram. I don't know. I don't gram. That's got to be you. You need to start putting your dollies up.
I know. I really do. I will do that this weekend. How about that? You need to just give me credentials, or I need to send you all the pictures of my dollies so the people can shame me as they should. I am on Twitter at the circle button, and our buddy Greg, get well soon, is at Jethrin, Jethrin. Best follow on Twitter. And I guess that will do it for episode 6 of Cross Platform Chat. Have a good console launch, everybody, and we will smell you later.
Smell you later. Is that it? I think that's it.
Sorry, I suck at outros, man. I need to.
No, that's great.